Good evening, friendo. So look, I know you've probably seen this already, but Nikocado Avocado has come back, and now it looks like a combination of a hairless cat and the bidet from TikTok.
Why do good girls like bad guys?
I know you know who Nick is, the guy that posts those disgusting videos of himself basically drowning in food. But he's now getting praised by a lot of people for supposedly being a genius. But, controversial opinion alert, I don't think Nick is as smart as people are making him out to be. I'm actually not sure how controversial this video is going to be, because I've seen some videos where the comment section is like, yeah, you know what, screw this guy, and then other ones where they're like, lol, just stay mad he tricked you. But that's why I want to talk about him, because I'm seeing people glaze this man, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm not going to be complaining about his weight loss. That's something that I've seen people get mad at for some reason. Whichever way you put it, the fact that he lost 250 pounds is impressive, and it should be commended. Whether he lost it by eating less with Ozempic or by doing one of Brandon Palmer's stupid-ass workouts.
I have a hard time doing floor crunches. Replace those with this easy, simple, highly effective core workout.
It's an impressive thing to do. I'm a little over a half foot taller than him, and he lost more weight than my entire body. But that's about all I feel like I can give Nick much love and major props for, if I'm being honest. What I want to talk about is this 2 steps ahead video he came out with, because I don't think enough people are talking about how stupid it is. Real quick. Before someone comments saying, man, he really fooled us all. No, stop, don't say that. Or at the very least, don't group me in with you. I'm not going to be condescending and say that everybody knew it was just an act, but I'd like to think that most people did. To me, I thought it was obvious that he was just playing a character and leaning into the fat fetish thing, which if you don't know what that is, look up adipophilia, that's what Nick has. There's a lot of clips of him, and this is just me paraphrasing, but there's a lot of clips where he says something like, oh man, I'm getting so much weight and I don't know why. Oh man, my stomach is getting huge. Like shit that's clearly playing into the fat fetish. But let's talk about this video. This is a video called 2 Steps Ahead. He gives this Sephiroth-ass monologue about how he played everyone and how he's going to be remembered in history books or some shit. Now I'm going to have to play it safe for the footage I show, because something that people don't really know about Nick is that he likes to strike people that talk about him in a way he's not really cool with. And by that I mean everyone he can't drama farm off of. And I do mean strike and not claim. I'll get to that in a minute though. 2 steps ahead. Alright, so let's talk about that. In what way? 2 steps ahead in what way? He says he recorded about 2 years worth of content and then had been losing weight ever since then, and that he tricked everyone into thinking that he was fat for the past 2 years. But am I the only one that struggles to see how this is a trick? Have you asked yourself that yet? Like, how is this in any way a trick on everyone? Like, that's not a trick, that's just how recording videos works. I can tell you I'm recording this on September 11th, 6:54 p.m. and be like, alright, cool. And if I say psych, I'm just kidding. I actually recorded this on September 13th at 3:42 p.m. You'd be like, whatever, cool. Let me put it like this in case you don't get why I think this is stupid. I am a raging alcoholic and I make videos where I portray myself as a drunk idiot. For the past 8 years, I've been making videos where I just drink and act like a fool. But you see, I've been tricking you for the past 2 years. I pre-recorded a bunch of videos where I drink and act stupid, but in reality, I've been conquering my alcoholism since 2022. I could have just not uploaded for the past 2 years while I got healthier, but that wouldn't keep the metaphorical cheese flowing to my bank account, would it? Ignore the videos where I pretend to have a mental breakdown, and ignore the videos where I act sad and talk about how I ruined my life, and ignore all the videos where I fight and cry with my partner on camera. I tricked you, and you all fell for it. You might be like, good for you and sobering up. Not a lot of people can do it. But how in the hell did you trick anybody? Now imagine that all the comments on that video was shit like, oh bro, on everyone's souls you tricked all of us. We all fell for it. The only thing that I can think of that could be considered a trick is that if he tricked people into thinking that he'd never lose the weight. Which still doesn't make sense, because it's not like people were saying that he couldn't lose weight. They were saying he wouldn't want to, not because of like an addiction to eating, but either for money or for the fat fetish thing. So after this he says, this is the greatest social experiment of my entire life. Okay, so what's the social experiment? Has anybody asked that yet? Or maybe the definition of what a social experiment is got thrown out. Back when Sandpepper did all those videos where he basically just groped women. I don't like that he's saying that it's a social experiment, because let's be serious for a minute, it's not. Like, you're telling me that if you act like an idiot online and destroy your body by making videos in a popular genre, that's simultaneously a fetish for some people. People are gonna watch it. Round of applause for Nick. Like, this is the greatest social experiment of all time. This is what people are praising him as a genius for. Like, there's people who legit believe that all those years ago, he was like, I've left the vegan community and I'm gonna start doing mukbangs. I'm gonna get fat as shit, but then I'm gonna lose the weight as the social experiment to prove that people on the internet love to watch train wrecks. Like, imagine if Smart Schoolboy 9 came out tomorrow and said, hey man, this was just all a social experiment. See, I did this shit for attention and to prove that people online they'll just look for a reason to hate on anything. Hey, congratulations, man. This is a cool social experiment, but you know you still had to do all this shit to get to this point, right? By the way, just as a side note, they need to find whoever this guy is and just kill him. I don't care who thinks that's going too far.
Kill him today. Right now, today.
So staying on the topic of this whole thing being a social experiment, let's talk about a couple things that would have to be true that would have been a part of his plan. So about a year and a half ago, Nick started copyright striking channels that made videos on him. And as you know, it only takes 3 strikes for YouTube to Thanos snap your channel. He could have just claimed these videos and people would have understood it, like, been like, we are using your likeness in these videos. I may not like this decision you made, but I definitely understand it. Instead, what Nick did was he was just sending out copyright strikes to pretty much anyone that wasn't Oompaville. One of these channels was a channel called Crackback, who had 1 million subscribers at the time. Despite him having 1 million, it didn't stop YouTube from terminating his channel. Eventually it got reinstated, but it's still crazy that even at 1 million, it could just happen. You know what I mean? So how did messing with people's livelihoods add to this social experiment? What information did you gain from striking fucking meme channels? This whole thing was going down around the time that Oompaville was making videos with Nick, and some people were saying that since those videos were making Nick look likable, he started striking people so that he could look like a bad guy again. But even if that was true, don't you think that's an extremely selfish thing to do? Do you think he contacted the people he struck to be like, hey, people are starting to like me again, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strike your channel so that people get mad and come hate watch my videos again. Now let's talk about the OnlyFans account. What part did that play in the social experiment? Back when I made my parody iceberg on him, he accepted my follow request on his private account, which meant I got to see tweets like this. Just posted a fully naked mukbang. Gainers, chasers, and belly lovers, this is for you. Watch me bounce. Okay, I'm not saying the rest of that, but you get the point. There's like 100 of these tweets talking about how gainers are gonna love this post. And if it wasn't obvious, the word gainer is the preferred nomenclature for people with the fat fetish. So how did that fit into the social experiment? What kind of psychoanalysis were you conducting by fucking posting a fully nude mukbang on OnlyFans? The last one. I glanced over this in my true crime content farm video, but Nick had some issues with Stephanie Sue back then. I'm not entirely sure I understand the whole thing, but from what I could tell, most people say that Stephanie was more in the right than Nick was. The gist of it is that he pressured her into talking shit about another YouTuber, and he made her feel unsafe in her own home. There's also that Panamask thing that he takes off at the beginning of the video, which some people are saying that it's a shot at Stephanie. Her husband usually wears a Panamask in her videos, which is why people think it's a reference to her. I've seen some people say that it's just a stretch, but I feel like it isn't. If it wasn't meant to be a shot at Stephanie, he could have used whatever to cover his face. Yeah, he chose to use the Panamask. This is something that should have significance to him. Yeah, he still chose to use it. So back to the social experiment thing. Was this whole thing a part of it? Where you're like, hey Stephanie, we're gonna have this beef where I pretend to be an asshole to you. Because in a couple years, I'm gonna lose weight, and this will be perfect for my social experiment. Like I said, there's no way that this whole thing was planned from the beginning. What I think happened is that he did the mukbangs and gained all the weight as part of the fetish. Eventually, he was like, I'm done. I need to regain control of my body. I can't keep doing this anymore. But then he realized that he'd get less views if he just lost the weight and said he was joking. Which is why he did that villain speech at the beginning, is so that people would think that he was in control the whole time, and he wasn't just winging it when it got out of hand. And just so we're clear, that entire 2 steps ahead thing was just an act. He's clearly playing a character in this video, and the reason I know that is because there's a video on his second channel that not as many people saw. And in this video, he talks like a normal person and not like he's some kind of anime character. So we got the Avocado, we got Nicholas Perry, and we got Sephiroth. You know, originally I was going to combine the word Nick and Sephiroth, but then I quickly realized that I'd end up on Keemstar if I said that on video. Feel free to stay at home though, or better yet, say it in public. Let me know how that goes for you. So what I want to talk about now is the people who actually believe this shit. That's who I'm really mad at. I'm not mad at the whole villain thing, it's more cringy than anything. There's a lot of people who are either saying dumb things or just making him look smarter than he really is. Nikocado represents us, the viewer. We consume and consume and consume and look like the idiot while we do it, with no consideration for our mental or physical health. Nick is putting the mirror up to show us who we are. Consumers who eat and eat and eat until there's nothing left. Touché. This is the perfect example of someone who tries too hard to sound smart, that they end up sounding like a complete idiot. Let me ask you this, how many times in the past year have you interacted with Nick's content? And I don't mean like watching a commentary video on him or like a TikTok. How many times have you made the decision to click on one of his videos? Not a lot of people, I'm guessing. Now how many of you have binge watched his videos? Probably even less. I guarantee that most people watching this have watched someone else's channel more times in the past month than they've watched Nick's in the past 2 years. And it's not like that's a bad thing, like this guy's making it seem like, you know how hard life's gotten for some people? You ever thought that maybe YouTube videos are how some people care for their mental health? Overall, just a stupid comment. This guy is actually a genius. He spent a chunk of his life to prove that people are ruthless and unforgiving, and he fucking succeeded. I just feel horrible now. Another person who actually believes that this was a social experiment all along. In the universe where this was the truth, this would still be a shitty experiment. Let me remind you, Nick did all this rage bait shit, like calling out popular YouTubers and overall just making himself look like a hateable idiot. And let's suppose that the copyright and the Stephanie thing were just part of the experiment too. He did things to make himself look like an asshole. So why are we to blame if we hated on him? Ignoring the fact that he was playing a character, he still did all those stupid things. It's common knowledge that if you do stupid things online, people are gonna get mad at you. Like even if you don't do anything stupid, there's always gonna be someone that gets mad at you. And again, even if this was just a social experiment, who needed this? We already knew from people like Darkside Phil that if you're an asshole online, people are gonna give you shit for it. Again, just another stupid comment. We made a follow-up to though, so let's read that real quick. Well, of course we know how people are mean, but this guy shined light on the worst of it. Not a soul believed he could do it. Everybody berated and bullied him. They thought he was a goner, but look at him. It's not that there's just rude people in the internet. It's that everybody is rude to someone at some point. Everybody was disgusted by this man. What the fuck are you talking about? Bro, he is now healthier than people who this shit has 213,000 likes. You must be some kind of a dumbass if you genuinely think this. Believe it or not, but being skinny doesn't automatically make you healthy. He's healthier than he was before, but the bar isn't that high on that. There is no chance in hell that he still doesn't have all these kinds of health problems. Probably got like joint pains, stomach problems. Even as a joke, you can't eat the way that he was eating for years and expect long-term health problems to just go away once you lose the weight. By the way, this guy's literally just a content farm about cats. 275,000. Thank you, YouTube Shorts. I've seen some people who are like, man, I can't believe you lost weight before I did. Don't beat yourself up too much, because like this man had all the time in the world. And even then, I feel like there's better inspiration out there. If you want actual fitness inspiration, then look to DashEXP. This man lost like 50 pounds in a year, and he put on a lot of muscle while doing it. Like, just look at these before and after pictures of him. And it's not like he did it for money or to shock people or to flex that he can lose a lot of weight. He did it for his health and for himself. He's the type of person you should look to for fitness inspiration. So I guess my only question for Nick is, what now? Because I mean, congrats man, you got your 40 million views. Probably got a good amount of AdSense for that. But like, now what? By all means, the weight loss could be the start to a redemption arc, but it's definitely not the end of it like some people are making it. Since this is a new start for him and it's technically been like 2 years since we last saw him, I mean, who knows, maybe this time he's actually changed for the better. Although with that whole Panamask thing, I'm not really too sure how much he could have changed. Either way, that is where I'm going to end the video, so if you enjoyed me ranting for I don't know how long this was, smash like or leave a comment. Shout out to the channel members, we got Blahaj and Shamil. Your dollar will be going towards my Halloween costume this year. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, I'm funny on there sometimes. But that is all, so take care of yourself and acknowledge me. Goodbye.